Okay, we have a couple more people I'm letting in. But anyway, I'm Peg Maddox, and I'm the Executive Director of NapaLearns. And I am, we've been around for about 10 years, and we've been helping the schools in Napa County. And because of COVID, we came up with something new to help everybody. And that's what this is. And this is the Napa Valley NapaLearns Virtual Career Academy. There's more people coming in. We're planning to go to 5:30, but we may not go that long. And, you know, obviously, if you need to leave, you can leave. So let's get started. So the way we're going to run this is we're going to do introductions first. Or somebody said, I'll be fine unless a tornado hits me. Introductions first, and then we're going to give you an industry overview of the programming industry. And then we're going to do a course overview, and then we have a few guest speakers. So we're going to start by first introducing Dave Harden. He's on here, he's your instructor. And then we have Pat Haynes, who's our marketing manager, director of marketing for NapaLearns. We also have Michelle Dahlberg, who is going to be our student services director. So if you do sign up for a course, and we sure hope you do, and we want you to sign up for this one, she will be in touch with you a lot to try to support the instructors to make sure that you're successful. Another name for her title is Learning Success Coach. So that's the team. We also have online Chuck McMinn, who's our board chair of NapaLearns. He's kind of lurking out there. And so let's get started. This is Dave Harden, but I think you can see his actual picture. You must have been at the beach, Dave.
Yes, I was at the beach. Great. Santa Cruz Boardwalk.
Nice. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is do a little industry overview, and I'm going to show a video. And I'm going to stop it partway through because it is kind of long. Whoops, not that way. Let's try it again.
In this video, I'm going to answer the top 3 questions my students ask me about Python. What is Python? What you can do with it? And why is it so popular? In other words, what does it do that other programming languages don't? Python is the world's fastest growing and most popular programming language, not just amongst software engineers, but also amongst mathematicians, data analysts, scientists, accountants, network engineers, and even kids, because it's a very beginner-friendly programming language. So people from different disciplines use Python for a variety of different tasks, such as data analysis and visualization, artificial intelligence and machine learning, automation. In fact, this is one of the big uses of Python amongst people who are not software developers. If you constantly have to do boring, repetitive tasks, such as copying files and folders around, renaming them, uploading them to a server, you can easily write a Python script to automate all that and save you time. And that's just one example. If you continuously have to work with Excel spreadsheets, PDFs, CSV files, download websites and parse them, you can automate all that stuff with Python. So you don't have to be a software developer to use Python. You could be an accountant, a mathematician, or a scientist and use Python to make your life easier. You can also use Python to build web, mobile, and desktop applications, as well as software testing or even hacking. So Python is a multi-purpose language. Now, if you have some programming experience, you may say, but Mosh, we can do all this stuff with other programming languages. So what's the big deal about Python? Here are a few reasons. With Python, you can solve complex problems in less time with fewer lines of code. Here's an example. Let's say we want to extract the first 3 letters of the text hello world. This is the code we have to write in C#. This is how we do it in JavaScript. And here's how we do it in Python. See how short and clean the language is? And that's just the beginning. Python makes a lot of trivial things really easy with a simple yet powerful syntax. Here are a few other reasons why Python is so popular. It's a high-level language, so you don't have to worry about complex tasks such as memory management like you do in C++. It's cross-platform, which means you can build and run Python applications on Windows, Mac, and Linux. It has a huge community, so whenever you get stuck, there is someone out there to help. It has a large ecosystem of libraries, frameworks, and tools, which means whatever you want to do, it is likely that someone else has done it before, because Python has been around for over 20 years. So in a nutshell, Python is a multi-purpose language with a simple, clean, and beginner-friendly syntax. All of that means Python is awesome. Technically, everything you do with Python you can do with other programming languages, but Python's simplicity and elegance has made it grow way more than other programming languages. That's why it's the #1 language employers are looking for. So whether you are a programmer or an absolute beginner, learning Python opens up lots of job opportunities to you. In fact, the average Python developer earns a whopping $116,000 a year. If you found this video helpful, please support my hard work by liking it.
That's it. Okay. Oops. Okay, Dave, would you like to take over from here?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Maybe I should tell people a little bit about myself, since I'm going to be teaching the class.
That would be great.
So I wrote my first code when I was a junior in high school, because I was just learning it on my own, and I had a friend who told me, like, you know, here's a if statement and here's how you print something on the screen, and I just played around with it and totally fell in love with it. Just think it's a ton of fun. So when I went off to Stanford, I decided to major in it. Ended up with a bachelor's and a master's in computer science. Then I went to the city and taught high school for about 10 years. And then after that, moved to Santa Rosa, and I've been teaching computer science classes at the JC in Santa Rosa since then. A lot of years of teaching about this stuff. So you can see on the screen, that's basically just a big list of all the companies that are using Python. What you're going to find is basically that Python is used just about everywhere. It's hard to find a place where you can see any programming going on and there's not some Python in the mix. So I guess we could just go ahead and look at the next slide. So industries that rely on Python: web and app development, IT, healthcare, insurance. Hard to find an industry that's not going to have some Python going on. Banking and finance, automotive and transportation. Yeah, I think we can go on to the next slide. So lots of information on this slide, and these slides will be available to you afterwards if you want to take a closer look, but maybe to just highlight a couple of these. If you look in the lower right corner there, oh, and by the way, just to point out, this is actually for our area. So this is Sonoma County, Solano, Napa, Mendocino, Marin, and Lake. If you look in the lower right corner, that's sort of the low end of the earnings spectrum. If you can just get an associate degree, and you could be a web developer. You can see there the median income is around $50,000. And another thing that's important to look at on these jobs is the growth rate. And you can see on this one that the growth rate is about 10%, which is about average. Just looking at a couple others, if we look right above that at the geospatial information scientists, I think we're going to hear from someone who is in that field later tonight. There, the typical education level is a bachelor's, and you're earning more like $80,000 instead of $50,000. Growth rate there is much slower. And then, of course, I'm going to want to jump all the way over to the top left corner, which is the software developers, if you go on and get a 4-year degree in computer science or software engineering or something like that, you can see there that the median income of those people is around 118,000. So lots of options. And the interesting thing about Python is that there are a lot of different directions you can go with it, as you can see here. And this isn't even, all of the different directions you can go. I think I'm done with that slide.
Dave, I wanted to ask you a question before we move on.
Sure.
It says bachelor's degree on all of them except the associates, but there are people in these fields that don't have a bachelor's degree in this area, right?
That is true. It says typical education level, and I think that's probably accurate. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not possible to get in without it, but it will sure make your job prospects a lot better if you do have the degree.
And then this was 2018, so computer programmers and software developers are going down. The software developers is slow, but for computer programmers was projected to go down. Why is that so?
To be honest, I have absolutely no idea why that would be. I'm sorry?
I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't.
Oh, yeah. That's quite all right. I'm happy to say that I actually don't know why that would be.
Interesting. So maybe just more specialty areas are.
Yeah, that could be.
Instead of a general computer programmer.
Right. That's a good guess.
I will let you go. And then if anybody who's listening has an idea, you can put it in the chat. Okay.
Right, and so this is just one more indication of how optimistic we are about the job situation with Python skills. That's a lot of job postings on LinkedIn, and if you look at places like LinkedIn and Indeed.com, you're going to find that there's going to be more listings for Python programmers than for any other programming language. By a pretty significant amount. So good language to learn.
So we're going to move into your course overview, right?
Yes.
So I will stop sharing and then let you go ahead and share.
Okay. It's not letting me.
Hold on.
I think, okay.
I'm slow.
That's okay.
The Zoom room. So I think you should be able to do it now.
Hold on a sec. You're not the only one that's slow, apparently.
I unshared.
Yeah, hold on. I just, all right, got it. I think. All right, well, I'm going to try to share something that may turn out to be the wrong thing.
Yeah, you're definitely sharing something.
Am I sharing the syllabus?
Yes.
Okay.
Here.
Okay, so I see a couple questions in the chat, and or I guess one question, and let me. I will get to that for sure. So I just wanted to go over a little bit about our schedule and what we're going to be covering in the class. The question in the chat was, what kind of previous experience do you need with programming for this course? I know that we are suggesting that you have some sort of experience with programming before you take the course. However, even if you have absolutely no experience at all, the course is actually set up for students who have no programming experience at all. So if you want to give it a try, even if you have no experience at all, we can give that a try and see how it goes. It's just you know, there's definitely a lot of content in the course. So that's why we're sort of recommending some experience. HTML would help. Certainly can't hurt. How deep into the language will we be going? Let's take a look at the course schedule here, and maybe that'll answer some of your questions. You know, obviously, if you've never done any programming, this stuff may not make any sense at all. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you can see that we'll be, you know, week 4 is talking about if statements and while loops. Week 5, we're talking about lists and arrays. Week 6, we're talking about functions. And I've got this going out to 14 weeks. So we'll be getting into strings and exceptions and inheritance and classes and things like that. So I don't know if that gives you enough information about how deep into the language we'll be going. Yeah, it probably seems complicated. Don't be overwhelmed. We'll have some time. And the syllabus schedule is very tentative. We're going to be keeping close track of how everyone's doing. And if it gets to be too much, we can definitely slow things down and extend the class further if that seems like the best thing to do.
So just, Dave, you want to explain that they're in a Networking Academy platform?
Yeah, the next thing I want to show you actually is the what it's going to be like to actually be in the course. So when you log into the course, you're going to be on a page that looks like this one. Is everyone seeing the Canvas course now?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what it looks like when you first log in. You can see that the course, the actual Cisco Net Academy course is split up into, what did I just do? I clicked on something by accident. Split into 6 modules. Here's the first 4 modules, and you scroll down a little bit, and here's modules 5 and 6. When you go into some of these modules, here's the very first page of the course. And then you can see that we'll be learning about polymorphism. Yeah, we can definitely learn about polymorphism. I don't remember whether it's actually in the course or not, but it's definitely something that I would want to talk about. So you can see that there's a table of contents over here, and if I click on the next button, it takes me to the next page. And so there's a lot, some of the pages are just textual information that you're going to be reading about. But the cool thing is that a lot of these pages are going to end up being, let's go back to like module 2. So this is another type of page, and this is pretty cool because it allows you to actually be in the course. And while you're reading about the content, you can actually be trying stuff out over here in the right pane of the course window. So, you know, I could say print, hi, nice to meet you. And then I can click the run button. And if I did everything right, it's going to show me the output that I got from my program down here. So it's very cool that it's all incorporated right into the structure of the course.
There's a question about how they're going to be accessing the account.
Yeah, as Pat mentioned, once you're accepted into the course, we will enroll you in the Cisco course, and you'll have access. So that's sort of how the course is going to look. Just real quickly, I wanted to show you a couple of the labs that you can look forward to later on. Actually, I think I got way too many windows on my screen. So here's one. A text file contains some text, but we need to know how often each letter appears in the text. So this is basically a program where you're going to read a text file and print a report of how many times each letter occurs in the text file. And then the next lab after this one actually adds on to this the requirement that you sort the letters in order of how many times they appear. So I don't know if that sounds fun to you or not. To me, that sounds fun. I'm looking forward to working on stuff like that with you. Just one more example, and then I'm going to look at the chat again and answer some questions. But we are going to write a program that reads in some data in the form of a Sudoku puzzle and analyzes it and decides whether it is a correctly completed Sudoku puzzle or not. I have no idea how many of you even know what that means, but it's going to be kind of fun. Any questions about the labs? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of Sudoku myself, so I was pretty excited about that lab. Is this an online course you can move on and pace within my high school classes during the day? It's an online course that you can do whenever you have time. It's not, I wouldn't say that it's self-paced because we will have a schedule and hopefully everyone will be completing activities at the same pace so that we can have sort of an interactive format. We can have discussions, things like that about what everyone's working on. And we will try to set up a time for a meeting once a week. It's not required, but yeah, as long as you've got the hours to put in, you should be able to do it.
And so this is Peg. So our goal is to make every single person who applies successful.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We'll be monitoring. Michelle will be checking in with you to see how you're doing. We'll be monitoring you. We really want the ages of people who have applied already go from 13, you have to be in high school, so we have a 13-year-old high schooler, all the way up to 72 from all walks of life. But we have about 40 high school students, and we really want you to be successful. So if it's moving along, but several people are lagging behind, we'll have a real-time discussion about what we can do to let the people go ahead who want to go ahead, but then the people who need more time, we want you to be successful. So there may be some adjustments. So this isn't going to be like your typical college class or high school class where we have to keep up with the class every second, every week. We'll see what we can do to get you keeping up. Now, Dave, the chapters go over several weeks, right? I mean, there's like these major checkpoints along the way that they could lag a little bit behind, but then if they caught up to the major checkpoint.
Yeah. No problem.
And then we'll be going through, going right through the holidays. This course may be done by then, but if you're in any of the other courses, some of them will go past December.
Yeah.
And if you want more detail on the course, you can go to our website, NapaLearns VCA/VCA, and you'll see the course schedule, the estimated hours per week and months, and then you can click and you'll actually go to the NetAcad description of this course.
Right. And to be honest, go ahead, Ben.
That's right.
I was just going to say, to be honest, that when I set up the schedule, I think I was being pretty optimistic, so I will not be at all surprised if we end up having to put the brakes on a little bit at some point and just make sure everyone is up to speed with us. So this is just sort of the, I guess, the fastest paced scenario. Okay, if there are no other questions, I think I'm ready to go back to the slides, Peg. Should I stop sharing?
And my control panel disappeared. Where did it go? I don't know what to do. Do you have suggestions on where my control panel might be hiding?
If you mouse up to the very top of the screen, does it pop up?
Yeah, it should pop up. Maybe it's on the other screen. There it is. Got it. There's a question, will we be touching on how to implement Python into other languages? Well, I get myself set up here.
That has not been in the plans, but if that's a request, we can certainly do that. Yeah, wouldn't be a problem.
I wanted to add a couple more things. So your course looks like it ends in December. It's possible that you might want to, you may be slowing down and you can't keep up, and then you know that over Christmas or something you'll be able to catch up. So this whole program is geared to you completing a course, getting a certificate, and then within 6 months taking the certification exam that goes with it, which we pay for. And with also you'll have some study help for the exam if you want to take the exams. They're kind of challenging, but if you really want to commit and go all the way, we'll be there for you. So you may need to continue to do the course past the time that Dave is finished with most of the students, but they'll stick with you and we'll stick with you till you're done. So let's move on. You've got my slides in front of you?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so the course requirements are, obviously you need to feel comfortable working independently and to be able to complete all the assignments on your own. So you have to be a fairly disciplined person. If you're like me, you can be disciplined some of the time, and then other times you don't have to worry about pressures on you. So just be able to work on your own. I'm sure most of you have been able to do that for certain projects or jobs. Obviously, you should be interested in technology because this is about technology, and we want you to feel excited about it. And I see some great comments in there that you seem like you're excited about technology, excited about this course, so that's great. Then this course is fairly at a beginning level, but as Dave said, you might need to have some experience. So between now and August 31st, you've got to look into figuring out a little bit about programming. So I'll help you if you haven't had anything before. You have to have a computer that is more powerful than a Chromebook. Can you put in the chat, all of you listening, just because we're always curious, how many of you actually have a PC or a laptop or a desktop? You just put, yes, I have the right kind, I have that kind of computer that I can have access to. And I have Wi-Fi, a good strong Wi-Fi at my house, or where I'm going to be doing the work. Yeah, it looks like everybody pretty much does. If it's a school issued laptop, if it's a Chromebook, it's not the best, but you can use it. Dave, the Chromebook would work on this course, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's much web-based. Okay. Oops. Yes, guest speakers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have two guest speakers for you, and Dave will introduce them and have them talk a little bit about their careers.
Okay, so our first guest speaker is Ryan Haynes, and I'm just going to ask you some questions. Ryan, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Cool. Where do you work? What do you do? What problems or solutions are you working on?
I work at a large consulting firm called AECOM in their Oakland office. I am a GIS specialist. GIS stands for Geographic Information Systems. So it was one of the career paths earlier in the presentation. And while I'm not explicitly a programmer, I do use Python every day. I was working earlier today and I was using Python to update data tables. So that had, 100 to 200 entries in it. And if I had to do it by hand, that would just take way too long. And the projects I work on have a limited budget. So being able to do it fast and efficiently and, make my job easier is essentially how I use Python.
So a few minutes ago, someone in the chat asked what a typical day at work is like. Is that something you could
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about?
It'll deviate a little bit from specifically Python, but I can definitely describe that. As a consultant, I work on, sometimes as much as 10 to 15 different projects a week. In my role as a GIS specialist, I create maps for these projects that depict certain project features and project components that are necessary to be used in environmental impact reports. And in a normal day, I get requests, I get pull requests to update a figure or create figures based on certain data that I am given, or I have to go out and get the data. And then I create the figure based on our template, and it goes through a QA process, and then it goes off to the project manager and then to the client after it's all said and done. In that time, I can use Python any number of times, from a simple quick query, or take 10 to 15 to 30 minutes to write a smaller function that will update data tables for me.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been there?
I've been there for a year and a half. I'm relatively new to the industry. I've been in the industry for going on almost on 4 years. After I did my undergrad in 2015, I got two jobs sequentially. 1 year at an open space district in the Bay Area, another is a local municipality in the Bay Area again. And then I went back and got my master's degree. And then I got started at AECOM in January of 2019.
Great. What do you wish someone had told you when you were just starting out? I guess you kind of are just starting out, but.
Yeah, so I went through these questions last night and wrote down my answers. This one actually kind of left blank. I'm still definitely relatively new to my career. I think now that I've been in this position, I think I would want to express that maintaining a good time management, set of skills of time management would be really important. Especially if you're working in a fast-paced environment, having your time management be up to snuff is really important, just to make sure that you're staying up to date with projects and tasks that are being requested of you, and also having the time to be able to do any overhead items that you need to do, or even keeping up with other skills that make you continue to make you relevant in the workforce.
Good. I think that you kind of answered the question about what skills are you still working on yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Why are you passionate about your profession?
So GIS deals with a lot of geography, and I am very passionate about maps. If you look at my background, there's two maps behind me. I have a collection of maps. I've always been spatially aware of my surroundings. I believe I got that from my parents. And I took a GIS and remote sensing class in my undergraduate degree, and they just clicked with me, and I really just appealed to my ideals. And I took it away from there. So it's also, geography is also tied very closely with environmental themes, and that is also very important to me as well.
Great. Anything else you want to share with us?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Anybody have any questions for Ryan that you want to ask in the chat? All right, I think we're good. Thanks a lot for coming. That's very useful to be able to hear from someone who's actually using Python.
Yep, no problem. My pleasure.
Every day.
Thanks for having me.
All right. By the way, everyone, if you do have questions while our guests are speaking, feel free to go ahead and type them in the chat, and we'll know to answer. So our next guest is Patrick Park. Patrick, are you there? Actually,
see him on the guest list.
yeah, maybe we don't have two guest speakers tonight. All right, Peg, I guess if he's not here, I can hand it back over to you.
Okay, I'm trying to get back to I'm not sharing my screen right now, right? No, I'm not sharing my screen. Well, maybe we may be a little early for him. Chuck, can I put you on the spot to talk a little about what you might know about programming in Python? The work that you've done in your life?
Sure, happy to do it. Let me turn on my video so you can see me. So everybody, I'm Chuck McNenna. I'm the chair of NapaLearns, and I've been up here in Napa Valley for 20 years, but I spent 25 years in Silicon Valley. And actually, you know, in times before Python, but I guess I would agree with what David said, is that Python is a very popular language, is a very easy language to learn, but I think more than that is once you have a firm understanding of one programming language, you can learn other programming languages as well. And that's, I think, important, you know, because things change. When I was leading software development teams in the 90s and early 2000s, you know, even though Python was around for 20 years, it was mostly C and C++ programming. So, but the fundamentals are the same. It's the need to be able to very explicitly and very accurately describe a sequence of instructions to a very dumb child. And if you get it right, the child will do the program, the computer will do that task, you know, many millions of times faster than you will. But if you get it wrong, it will do a whole bunch of garbage many times faster than you will. So to me, it is the most important second language that anybody can learn. And that includes French, English, German, Spanish, Latin, you know, Chinese. That learning programming has so many applications across so many areas that having it in your back pocket, no matter what you do, is a good thing to know. I use it still. I run a winery today. I still use it to write VBA code in Excel spreadsheets, you know, or if statements or lookups. You know, if you at all mess around in Excel and go into some of the more exotic functions and you see the power of them, then you'll have a good time learning how to do it with a real programming language. And you know, I think as Peg said and showed, the demand out there is just off the charts, and to the point where the United States is not producing enough talented programmers for the jobs that are required, and so the employers, including the several companies that I ran, had to go outside the United States to recruit people in who are educated in software development in other countries to bring them into the United States, or to subcontract out software development to groups of programmers that live in other places all around the world. So you will not have a problem finding a job. You will need to kind of make sure that the job that you're doing you like, as Ryan seems to be passionate about his particular area of expertise in mapping, I think you can find places that you are doing interesting problems with that skill set. So Peg, did I stall long enough?
Not really.
So,
Peg, are you just trying to share your
yeah,
slides?
No, I can do that.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'll then keep going while Peg's trying to get the computer to cooperate. So as you saw, this course is based around a Cisco offered online course that is available on their Net Academy to anyone who wants to sign up and do it. So you could go through this course on your own, online, just by yourself, but the probability is you won't complete the course. That the success rate of individuals taking online courses is not that great. That you get to an area, you get stuck, there's nobody to talk to. And so our model is different, is that we will put you together with a cohort of folks under Dave's mentorship to attempt to go through the course collectively. That doesn't mean coming to a classroom and sitting down every day. It means going through a week's worth of work online by yourself when it makes sense for you to be able to do that. But then to come back together on a weekly basis to try to discuss what it is that's got you stuck, or things you didn't understand, or how you can go deeper, and to then have Dave and David's contacts to come in and say, well, here's another example of an industry expert that's doing this or that, or here's a problem that's outside the course that might be interesting and you should be able to do, or to the question about polymorphics, or something that might not be in the course but might be easily extendable by David. That's the purpose of why NapaLearns is doing this. So coming together as a cohort is a kind of a secret sauce piece. Another piece is that our goal is to help you to get to an industry recognized certification. That these Cisco certifications are widely recognized. If you had that on your resume, that you have a Cisco certification in Python, your resume goes higher up in the stack of resumes that the recruiter at the tech company is looking for. And the third is free. That there's no cost to you for the instructor or Michelle Dahlberg, the coordinator, or the text, or the online course, or the prep for the certification, or the actual cost for sitting for the certification. We are making this available to the students that choose to go through this process with us to help better prepare you for the jobs that are out there, because there, as Peg showed, there's way too many job openings out there for the people qualified to do the jobs.
Right. So he's not here. So
second guest speaker. So I think we'll just go on beyond them, I guess.
Yeah, go to the next slide. If I can find my controls again. Why do they keep disappearing? I don't understand. Anyway, thank you so much, Dave, for speaking. Thank you so much, Ryan, for speaking. I think everybody's got a good sense of what Python's all about in the course, I hope. We're really excited about this course. And we have about 15 people signed up, but we have lots of room. So if you really want to sign up, the next step is, and I can't share my screen, is the process to enroll. And that is on our website. Again, napalearns.org/VCA, and there's an application button all over the place. So what you're going to do is, thank you. You're going to apply. If you haven't already done it, you should fill out Part A. So when you click on application, you'll be getting one part, the first part of the application. Fill that out, submit it, and then we're going to be going through all of the first part completed applications to make sure you qualify. So the rules are you have to be in high school or above and live or work in Napa County. There are some exceptions to the where you live or work question. So when in doubt, apply. If you're not living or working in Napa, but you really want to do this, you might be able to convince us to let you in. So then after you get cleared to submit the second part of the application, it'll be July 17th, and you'll get to, thank you for sharing. You'll get to take, the second part is actually you get to make a commitment statement. So we want to make sure you really want to do this, and we want to ask you why you would be a great person to be in this course. What do you bring to the party as far as your commitment and willingness to work with others and get stuff done. And we'll be then closing that on July 31st. So you only have 2 weeks to finish that part of the application. And then by August 15th, we'll have selected everybody. Now, in case you went to any of our other seminars, I see a few of you did, there are a couple of courses that are going way over enrollment, but we're going to try to figure out how to handle that. But many of you, if you did apply, signed up for more than one course. So the application B, part B, will ask you to prioritize the courses you really want to take. So if you applied, say, to cybersecurity and Python, then you decide between those two which one you really want to take. Write your essay about that one. So if it's Python, why do you want to take Python? And secondly, the second choice and the third choice, I think we're going to give you 3 choices. And then you'll be able to move into another course if you'll leave space for other people to go into your second and third choices if you get your first choice. So I hope that's all crystal clear. We have some questions, and I think they're getting answered. Yep. Okay, so the next slide shows basically, if you didn't go to any of our info sessions, it shows our Career Academy model. So we've gone over most of this, but just to point out that the online course will start the week of August 31st, last for so many weeks or months, and then you'll actually have a series of weeks where you can do a CERT preparation course, because there's a lot of them out there. We're looking for those. And you can see below in the green, the blue, the purple, and the yellow that there are these other support services. We didn't emphasize it too much, but we will be providing you with opportunities to go on virtual field trips, to so you can go to a place where they're actually using this tool in whatever field. As you can see by what we showed you before, this Python applies to every field. So we will give you that kind of industry connections. For all of these courses, there's especially the Cisco, we have 2 Cisco courses, this one and the cybersecurity. There's actually an online community that you'll be part of and a discussion board. So you'll be able to share ideas, get ideas. And then finally at the end, there's actually a connection to job boards. Those of you who aren't in high school or college and want to look for an actual job in this, we'll have ways of connecting you with employers who are looking for jobs. Most important thing, if you really are serious about all of this, of course, is your certification. If you can complete that, you will be awesome. And I guarantee most of the courses we're offering, you can walk right into a job, I believe, if you finish the certifications. So I'm seeing which classes are filling up. Well, to be honest, it's digital marketing and Adobe Suite. Not surprising probably, but we're trying to figure out a way to accommodate everybody. But the first phase of that decision making will be for you to fill out part B of the application and choose your first choice. We actually had one person who applied for all 6 courses in high school. So very ambitious. All right, that's it. I think we're done. Sorry for the technical errors, and I'm sorry we didn't get our guest speaker to come on, but maybe we can capture him on video and publish it somewhere. So Dave, thanks you so much. We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Your
experience is just amazing, and the idea of having someone like you who actually thinks this is fun, which I believe programming is fun. I've had some bad experience.
Hey, I just want to also comment that we are going to be sending out a survey to everybody that attended today, and it'll take about 2 minutes to complete it. So please take the time to do so. We will be giving everybody a gift card to Starbucks for completing the survey. So look for that in your inboxes. It'll be coming in the next day.
Great. Any final questions? All hail David. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for letting you out of class early.
Thank you all. We hope to see you in the course.
And thank you, Chuck, for giving a great overview of why we're doing this and how we're doing it. Thank you.
Happy to do it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.